Well, welcome. Mortgage Express, home for the holidays. So we thought this time we'd talk a little bit about how to get you into a house before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that way you can celebrate your holidays
in your brand new home.
So anyway, Mallory, tell us a little bit about what we're going to talk about today.
So we're...
Oh, we do?
I don't have the clicker, and I was like, can I crawl under? No.
No, you're good.
Do you want to start all over again?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, hello. Welcome. So you're here for Home for the Holidays.
Right.
It's kind of our idea about letting you know how you can get into your house before the end of the year and hopefully celebrate holidays.
All I want for Christmas is not a hippopotamus. I want a house.
You sure? You
Or my
wanna-
two front teeth.
But
But
okay.
they're still there. Thank goodness.
Good thing. Nobody's punched in the mouth today, right?
No, I haven't taken any hard punches yet.
No, you wanted to give some,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Just a tad.
We won't even talk about credit unions.
No, we're not even going to go
Yeah,
there.
don't want to deal with them. So anyway, Mal, how about telling us a little bit about what we're going to do on the agenda today?
So we're going to kind of talk about like why the holidays are a great time to buy right now, and then also kind of going again through the mortgage process, kind of like step by step and everything. And then we also kind of want to do the tips and tricks of like why buying before the holiday season is a good thing. I mean, there's some ups and downs, there are some bad things, but most of the time it's good. And then also the home ownership benefits that we're always thankful for, especially in Florida with our homestead exemption. Oh, I love seeing that on my tax bill.
There you go. That's right. Well, so why buy a home before the holidays?
Because my wife said so.
That's a good reason. That actually is. All you husbands out there and significant others, just remember that. Always do what your wife says. But anyway, now that you can say that
I
now
can
too.
say that too.
She gets pretty excited about that. You're probably going to hear about how she's a new wife for like the next, I don't know, 10 years.
Probably.
But anyway, so a lot of times there's not as much competition out there.
Yep.
A lot of people go back home either up north to Ohio or
Here in
wherever.
Florida. Here in Florida, they go back home
Yes,
for
they
the
go
holidays.
back. That's true. They go back.
We all
home.
stay here.
So, a lot of people are getting ready for the holidays, so they quit looking. So
Yep.
they kind of take themselves out of the market. They wait till after the end of the year into the first of next year. And so they're, maybe people that are looking at the same house you are, maybe aren't looking at it now. A lot of sellers, too, want to be motivated as well because they could be looking to sell their house to buy their
Yes.
new house, and they want to get into their new house before the end of the year as well.
Yes.
So a lot of times they're a little more motivated, and maybe their house has been sitting there for a while, so they
Right.
could be motivated as well.
Maybe they have some Christmas presents they need to buy.
Yeah,
with that
that
money.
kind of thing. So sometimes we get some rate fluctuations. We've all seen the Feds kind of go up. Now the market has kind of responded to that already, but you never know. You could get some market changes
Yes.
and some rate changes coming
Right.
up. And then of course you always want to spend your first holiday
Holidays,
in your
decorating
new
in your
house.
new house, buying new stuff.
Yes.
That would be me, 100%. But I sit there and I think of myself because my husband and I are in our home and we're always looking at homes, and I'm like, it's the best time because you can just sneak right in and just say,
Get it
hey, I
done.
like those. So pre-approvals, we've talked about it the first time for getting pre-approved, which with Van Dyke, we have our in-house lender, so we can get you pre-approved, and we pre-approve you, not the home. So that way you can shop and have that peace of mind that you're like, okay, I've done all of the hectic stuff in there. Now I get to just hang out and get pre-approved. This is the best time to be pre-approved because if you're like, hey, 3 months ago, I got pre-approved, but I just haven't been finding anything. This is the perfect time because, again, everybody leaves, and then you can just sneak right in and put in offers. And then sometimes the sellers will even take what you're offering if it's a little bit lower because nobody else is offering.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And then Of course, you definitely need your documents that do income and your assets, and we want to make sure that everything is going smoothly.
And I want to throw something in there. I'm dealing with 2 clients right now, and we try to kind of give you like a kindergarten type explanation of a lot of things, because while we're here in the business, we know what we're talking about, and we try not to talk over you to where you don't understand. And I have 2 clients right now, 2 separate couples that have never applied before, have never done anything, and they truly don't know what we need. So when we talk about needing pay stubs, we need 30 days.
30 days.
When we're talking about W-2s, we need the last 2 years, the most current 2 years.
Yes.
When we're talking about bank statements, we need your most current. And those are the things that we try to let you know, because sometimes we as lenders forget. We talk the talk every day. We try not to talk it so you understand. But anyway, so
it's like just, I mean, imagine talking about something that you don't know, or that you know and we don't, and we're just looking at you just
like you have 3 heads.
Like you've got 3 heads, and we're like, have no idea. And of course, we want to make it so much easier for you, where you're barely lifting a thumb, but there are some times that we have to go, okay, this is what we mean. This is what it is. And also, another thing that we have been running into is you may not have the money right away for a down payment, but that shouldn't stop you from getting pre-approved. You can always save your money and always figure out another way if.
And at least you know.
Yes, that's true. We can also help you with that.
And we can put you on the road to home ownership.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's just better to get pre-approved, because I'd rather sit there and sit there with a pre-approval and find that dream house that I want, and I know I'm going to get it, instead of having to rush through all these processes.
Exactly. So, house hunting is a lot like choosing the perfect turkey.
Gobble, gobble.
So, we recommend always working with a real estate agent. I understand that a lot of people don't know where to start, or they don't want to get one person, but you know, it's so much easier if you find somebody you want to work with, or call us. We work with a ton of great agents, and you know, we can put you in contact with an agent. Don't go, you know, looking at every house that you like and calling that agent on that sign. I mean, you can do that, but it's a lot. And
read the reviews.
Yeah, read the reviews. Find somebody that you like to work with, that likes a lot of the same things you do, and things like that you have something in common with, because they're going to work for you, and they have an MLS at their fingertips.
Yep.
So you can tell them, we want 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, we want a pool bath that goes, and we want a pool, and we want this, and we want that, and we want a split floor plan, and all of that, and they can look for those. If you're driving around and you're finding a sign because you like the outside of the house, you may not know what the inside of the house looks like, or if it's even set up the way you want it. So let somebody else do the footwork, and a licensed realtor is the way to go. Consider your neighborhoods, your commute. You know, if you're working in South Fort Myers, you may not want to live in Punta Gorda. But then again, you might. And sometimes, you know, now they've opened up different ways to drive and all that. We're laughing because Ashley lives in Punta Gorda and she works in South Fort Myers.
And we love that she travels
to see us. Yes.
And work with us.
So keep your mortgage pre-approval in mind. Remember, if we pre-approve you for $300,000 with a certain tax and all that, a condo and a house could be 2 different things.
Yes.
If you are approved for $300,000 for a house, you may not be approved for $300,000 in a condo, because in addition to your taxes and in your insurances, you have HOA fees in condos, and some houses as well. So remember, not only to keep that in mind, your pre-approval, but also ask us if there's something that you're not sure about. Just call us. And
flood zones too. That happens a lot. Flood zones.
We may not have approved you with flood insurance, and then in addition to that, you could be super low and your flood insurance could be super high. So that could throw you all the way out. And don't rush. Keep your eye on what you're looking for. Don't feel like you're rushed. Yes, you want to get in for the holidays, and we'd love to help you, but don't just take anything. Make sure you find what you like.
So basically the loan application, we're basically mixing all the ingredients together. We're putting all the ingredients. So when we get your applications, what we go through is we look for your job, where you've lived, assets and credit. That's pretty much basically what we're looking at. And then we set everything up. So when you submit a full application and you give us everything, that means documentation is a big one. It's easier to just do it all at once instead of having us to track you down. And I always say that with a big, because as fast as you want me to work is as fast as you give me documents. So
Right.
when you give me documents, I'm on it. I'll spit it out and get you as fast, because I know you want to move. We're ready to go. Now there may be one or two things that I'm like, okay, I may need clarification on this, and I may need one thing for this, but
we can get you
But we
submitted
can at
with
least
certain,
get you in.
Yeah, get you started with stuff like that. And always remember that, again, you can tell us what you make, and we can kind of give you a pre-qualification, not
Yes.
a pre-approval. But in order to get a pre-approval,
Yeah.
we need to see the documentation.
And I'd rather tell you what you should be pre-approved
Looking for.
I don't want to give you
False hope.
false hopes and the big eyes, and you get excited for one thing, and then you end up not doing it because I actually get your documents and I can't, and we see this.
Right. And
But-
it kind of goes back to also how we talk about we're your attorney, we're your doctor. Tell us everything. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, I make $500 a week. Okay, but you don't work 40 hours a week.
Yes.
You actually get paid hourly. And that makes a difference. And it also makes a difference with the kind of loan you can
Right.
get. Because a lot of times, a loan could require you to be at the same job for 2
Yes.
full years.
Yes.
Whereas a different loan may not. You just have to be employed for 2 years. So once we have all of that is how we can put together where we're going to send your loan, or
Right.
what type of loan you need personally.
I mean, you look on here and you see the fixed rate, you see the ARMs, you see the FHA, the VAs. Now that helps me when I look at your income. If I see that you are just an hourly employee, my mind, ARMs are out because your payment's going to fluctuate.
Well, they also qualify you at 2% above as well.
Exactly. So it's a higher rate of what we're
What you're
qualifying for. You're a first time home buyer. Okay. And then you're still hourly. That also puts me, it's honestly like a math equation of mixing ingredients of like what would be best for your lifestyle. And I look at everything. So when we're looking at your income, we're not just calculating of how much you can get, how much you can afford. We're also looking at what is going to be good, what is going to be good for you in the next at least year. So let's get you started, let's get you going, let's see how that's going to help out for you. So that's where that's also another thing of like mixing the income documents. That's why we ask for them, is because we want to see what would be the best one for you.
For you, right. So then we send you, once we have all of your documents and everything, we send them processing and underwriting, which is kind of like cooking. Kind of like putting you in the oven. So the underwriter, when we talk about underwriters, again, we call them underwriters and we assume that you know what we're talking about, and we have to remember, back it up, not everybody knows what an underwriter is.
Yes.
They have underwriters with insurance, they have underwriters with loans, they have all kinds of different underwriters. What an underwriter does is they take all the documentation that we've collected from you, and then they look at it, make sure it fits all the guidelines, and that we've calculated everything correctly, and that it is a loan that we can do. And that's what an underwriter does. So they're going to check all of your information. They're going to look at the appraisal. Once that's done, they're going to make sure that the house appraisal appraisers are going to make sure that it doesn't need work. They're, you know, all the different things, but they review everything. Now, underwriting, depending on how busy we are, generally takes about 48 hours once we get that in. Now, that doesn't mean 48 hours from when you start giving us documentation. That's 48 hours from when we have gotten all the documentation from you, put it all together in a beautiful little packet to make the underwriter like it, because that's kind of our job too, is to put you in the best light for that underwriter in case there's issues.
I just got a metaphor. I don't know how we're going to describe that, but so we've talked about it in the first one about risk layering. This is what it is, risk layering. So think of like we're layering all of the ingredients and we're putting it in the oven for the underwriters. So we're basically layering, okay, they've got this, they've got this, they've got this income, they've got this assets, they've got this credit. All right, here we go for baking. Here you go. I was like, wow, I just thought of that. And that's where we think of it, is of the underwriter. We are preparing the dish for them, and then we give it to them. And we're like, bake.
Yep.
Thank you. And timer, 48 hours. Thank you so much.
Yep. And that's a good way to look at it too. And again, if you're coming at us saying, I want to get approved, how fast, as Mallory said before, the faster you get your documents to us. And when we say documents, if we say I need 4 pay stubs for the last 30 days and you give us 2 pay stubs, that's not going to work. We need all 4. So there's a reason we ask for what we ask for. And a lot of times we have many customers who tell us, oh, you don't need that. You don't need that. Why do you need that? Why do you need to know what I have in this account? I'm not using that account. Well, sometimes we want to know that you've got a lot of savings because maybe your credit score isn't quite high, or maybe your ratios, meaning your debt to income, how many debts you have versus your income, is a little high. But if you've got 6 months of reserves in an account, we might be able to get you approved. And that's our job to put it together, and that's why when we look at it and we ask you for specific things,
it's like a scale.
We need the specific things. So just remember, just give us what you want, and the quicker you give it to us, the less we have to keep asking for it, and be responsive. So that's what helps.
Yeah, it really, really does. And then closing, our dinner is ready and we are ready to feast. So, and then what you're expecting at closing. So what you're going to expect at closing is a lot of signing. I wish you could just have a stamp and you're just stamping, and that's great, but unfortunately they require you to sign every single dotted line. And
you have to sign. Now, if you submit your application with Mallory Nicole Geraci instead of Mallory Nicole Fraser, you have to sign it. Mallory Nicole Geraci. Mallory Nicole Geraci.
Yes.
So remember that.
Don't change your name in the middle of a loan. I mean, I didn't do that, but I'm just saying, don't do that.
Well, and again, and if you don't usually use your middle name on any legal documents, you don't have to use your middle name on a mortgage application. You only have to use your middle name if that's how you sign it, and that's how you want to. But just remember, that's how you got to sign a whole bunch of documents, because if you don't sign them right, you get to sign them again later.
Yes, so you're going to get those signing. You're going to get a whole package, and what I always tell my borrowers, I say, this one packet that they're giving you, never let it go. Put it in a filing cabinet, put it in with all of your important documents, because I guarantee you sometime in the future you will be looking for those documents again, but it's always good to have them. And then you'll also most of the time you'll get your first 2 payment coupons, which you will need because to pay your mortgage. We do not want those to be late, especially on your first payments or your second payments. We do not want that, even though they do give you a little bit of a grace period because of you just bought the house and you're setting everything up. Everything's not electronic. You can't set up your auto pay just yet, but you will, I promise, don't worry. And then once you get everything, you get a lovely pair of keys that you can change the locks if you need to, because I require new locks on every new home that I always say. I'm like, that's great. Those won't be the keys. You'll want to go change the locks and everything on them.
Because you don't know who all has all those keys.
You don't know who's. You don't know if
they were
uncles.
renting. Well, you don't know if they were renting it
That
to
is
somebody.
true.
And maybe the two split up, and you've got a wacky girlfriend or a wacky ex-boyfriend or something.
Right.
And they show up at the house, and it's not their house anymore. But anyway.
So you always want to review also your final numbers, and you want to go over them. Always reach out to us if something does not make sense. If you're like, I don't know what this is, don't worry. We're dictionaries for that little piece of paper. We will tell you exactly what it is, where it is, how much of everything, and especially with going through this time of the holidays with tax bills of being paid, and it's just confusing of who's paying this, who's paying that.
Yeah.
And that's always the fun part. A little bit of the downside of buying a house during this time, but it's not bad because if you overpay, you're gonna get the money back. They're not gonna
They
can't hold that against,
Yeah.
take that away from you. Or you just put it into your next escrow account, because that's what I do. I'm like, just put it in there. It's fine. Just leave it in there.
Just keep sending it.
Right.
So we've got a few tips for, again, closing before the holidays. So you want to get pre-approved early. Now, we did put on here by mid-November, and we do realize it's not mid-November. It's a little closer to the end of November.
Yep.
But really, if you can get pre-approved and we can have you ready to go to write a contract by the first week of December, we can truly still close. Because again, remember, we've already, if you're pre-approved, we've already underwritten you and all of that. So all we need now is an appraisal, title work, and insurances.
Yep.
So a lot of that can make it go quicker. So we can do that. You want to be, as we said, responsive. We want to be responsive all the way around. Be responsive to us. Be responsive to the title company when they call, because title company is going to send you an email that says, you know what, they want your name, they want this, they want to know all kinds of things about you, because they have to do a title search on your name. Because believe it or not, there are sometimes loans on some people's names. Your uncle, my brother, his name is, well, Scott Allen Johnson, so we'll say that. There's a lot of Scott Allen Johnsons out there, a lot. And every time he goes and buys a house or we refinance something, title work comes back with 2 pages listed this long with judgments or loans or whatever, and none of them are his. So that's why they ask you for how your name is listed, how you've ever had your name, because they have to ensure clear title to the bank that no one is going to come later and say they owed us money, so we're going to go ahead and then try to foreclose. So,
and also we can't close without that approval. So they've got a whole different, checklist that they have to do. As long as with us, and we're doing it together, we're timing out, making sure everything is going the same way. But that's the thing, is you have to respond to them too, because it's not just us that's doing the work, it's them. They're the ones that wire the money. They're the ones that have to do disperse of the money. If you're selling the home and it's a lot of
moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, but you have to keep, and we're not saying you need to call or text us every single day, everything. But when we're reaching out for something, that's when we need a little bit of a response. And we understand everybody works. We understand everything. But, and I always say, at your earliest convenience, at your earliest convenience.
Right.
That way, whenever you get a free moment, please do what I asked, and we'll all be good.
Well, and this time of year too, you want to be flexible with your closing date, because keep in mind, we're running into it with next week with Thanksgiving. Because, back in, years ago, everybody was closed on Thanksgiving, but then everybody came to work on the Friday after. Well, now a lot of people, a lot of companies, and us included, are going to be closed on Friday. So a lot of the title companies are closed Thursday and Friday. A lot of the realtors are out of town. A lot of the, all of that. And now what's even kind of dripping in earlier is now title companies are closing at lunch on Wednesday.
It's starting.
So be a little flexible. We moved some closings up to Tuesday
we
so
tend to
that
do
we
that.
could accommodate everybody closing.
Right.
So just be open to that. Same thing as we move into December. You've
know,
got
we're already in
holiday.
November.
I know, right? You've got holiday parties. You've got all these different things. So we need to make sure that we're getting everything done and,
Right.
and all of that. And then the
But that
biggest one.
pre-approval
Yep.
will get you there already there.
We'll get you there a lot quicker. And then one of the other big tips, and especially this time of year, Black Friday, I know they're having a deal on washers and dryers, and I know you need a new one for your house and all of that, but don't make a big purchase beforehand. Let's close first.
Yes.
Because
Don't open
there's
a
a
new
little
credit
thing
for
that
it either.
happens that if your debt to income is higher than a certain amount, which I can almost guarantee you, if we've gotten you approved, your debt to income is higher, and there's a little thing on the back end that they pull this little website that tells us whether you have applied at another bank or anything like that. So right before closing, we are going to find out if you've applied anywhere or you've gotten a new debt or a new credit card or something like that. So don't do it. Don't do it. Just wait. I know you'd want to, but just don't do it.
I mean, we've had one. I think it was earlier in the year, and sheer happened car accident, totaled the vehicle. We get it, but we were so close to closing that we said, just hang out for a minute. Just wait a minute. Don't open up anything. Don't go buy a new car. Don't do anything until we close on this because of that right there.
Well, and
we understand that you need a new car. We understand. We're just saying, hey, let's get you through this first, and then you can go get the new. We're not saying don't get it. You can't have a car. No. We're just saying, hey, let's make one little sacrifice, and then we can get a new car, and then you can get a car.
Well, and a lot of times, what you got that one car for, maybe your monthly payment's only $300. What if you go to get a car
and it's now more.
They're telling you you don't have any money down, you don't have this, interest rates are a little higher, yada yada, and you end up with a $500 payment.
Yes.
Then that changes everything. So just be careful. Talk to us first, but don't make any big purchases.
So home ownership, blessings to be thankful for.
And we're
I said
always
it earlier.
thankful for
My homestead exemption. I love it. I love it. It is the best thing. And if you don't really know much about it, it's if you claim your home as your homestead, you do get an exemption from it. And not a lot of people know that actually, because my husband, when he bought the house that we lived in, he bought it before I lived there. And he had no idea. And I said, your lender didn't tell you that? Excuse me? And he said, wait, what? And I said, oh, I am here for you. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, but I did sign him up for that because I made sure that we were going to do that.
Well, and that again goes back to another reason why you should try to close before the end of the year,
Yes.
because you have to be entitled to the property by December 31st in order to get
Yes.
the homestead exemption.
So if I close tomorrow, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Easy
you
way
do.
of coming. But if you do it anytime after that, you're not going to be getting it until the following year, that tax
So
year.
it's a full year, almost 2 years
Correct.
before you get an okay on it.
Absolutely. Oh, tax advantages. Yeah, that's it. So, and then another thing with being thankful for home ownership, that's going to be like a tongue twister for me for a little bit, is building the equity into your home, which can open up the door to many things that you can do.
Well, and as you're paying down on your mortgage, hopefully your house is increasing in
Yes.
value. So it's a good investment. It's one of
Yes.
the best investments you can ever make, obviously.
Real estate
It's
is a
what we
big one.
call a non-depreciating asset. A car is what we call a depreciating asset, meaning you're never going to get the value out of your
No.
car. But hopefully you're going to get the value out of your house,
Absolutely.
especially if you've
Yes.
got it at a good price and a good deal.
I mean, even if you break even, you still...
It's better than
going
as you're
down.
paying on it.
As you're paying on it,
you're
it's
getting
going
more
up.
equity. Yep.
You can, and with that, you go with, again, opening up so many things for you. You can have a HELOC where you have it open. I mean, you don't even have to use it. I like
There
to say
for
it's a credit
emergency.
card. It's a credit card for your house. So if anything happens, instead of racking up your credit cards on it, you have that fail safe of, okay, don't worry, I have this.
Right.
I'm okay, I can have this. And then if you don't use it, no payments.
Right.
It's fine. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Which that's great. You can also use that equity if you ever want to buy
stuff.
Another house, perhaps. Say you want to start investing in real estate, you can do it.
And we have
small.
DSCR loans that are great. But anyway, we'll move on to that.
But say you want to get that started. You want to start that real estate investment. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that is true.
Tap into your equity.
Yep.
Building a home. There's so many things with equity. I love it. It's great. Freedom to decorate and host holidays the way you want them to.
You can be like, what is it? The Griswolds.
The Griswolds.
Decorate your house however you want. Put clips on it wherever you want.
Why is the carpet wet, Dawn? I don't know, Margot. Best thing, but it's fun. That one.
And it's your house, you know.
It is.
So you're decorating your own place and all that. But what's also good is taxes. Not only is it homestead, but on your own personal taxes, you get a tax write-off. And if your interest and real estate taxes are higher than your standard deduction, then this could help you lower your tax base and not pay taxes, but end up getting them back. And then, like you said, a place for your family to grow.
Yes, and new traditions to start.
Yeah. When you have little pitter-patters
Little
of
pitter-patters
feet.
of feet. And then the next steps.
And we become grandmas. I'm not pushing it.
So your next steps are let's get your pre-approval appointment, which is just give me a call. Just give us a call. We'll talk about it. We'll go through it and we'll see what we can get through. And then again, if you don't have a real estate agent or you're just saying like, I just can't find one that I'm matching with, tell us what you didn't like about those people, and then we can try to. We know many real estate agents, and we know many.
And we've got some good ones that work.
We have a lot of good
and
ones
title
that work.
companies and insurance companies. And actually, to go even further than that, when you do buy your house, I said I like to be. There used to be a guy where I worked, and we always called him the guy who knew a guy.
Yep.
Because he knew everybody. If you needed something done, he knew somebody.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of that way. If you need, I know painters, electricians, plumbers, you name it, we know it. And you may not need it in the first few years you live there, and that's okay. These guys are local, they've been in business for a long time, and we can, you're going to need them someday. Believe me, you're going to need them someday.
So let's make sure you have your home for the holidays.
That's right. We'll get you all hooked up with your trusted partners, and we want to be your partners, and I want to be your lender for life. So definitely call us. So we're kind of towards the end. You know who we are and how to reach us and ask questions. And Ashley, do we have any questions in the queue?
We have 2 questions today.
Oh, cool.
The first question is from Donna, and she wants to know how long does it typically take from start to finish to close?
Well, as we talked about with the pre-approval, it can take as long as it is for you to get us the documentation. So the way the whole process starts is you fill out an application, or you call us and we fill out the application for you. We tell you what kind of documents you need. If you can get us those documents within about 3 to 5 days, we can put it together, send it to processing. They can do whatever they need to do on their end, get it into underwriting. So we theoretically could get you pre-approved in 7 to 14 business days usually. And then when you come out and you have you find a property and we get the appraisal and all that, another probably 7 to 14 business days. So just to be on the safe side, we can close you in 30 days or less. That's kind of,
I say 30 days or less.
That's how we like to gauge it at 30 days or less for the whole process when you add it or add the days together.
Unless there's little things that come about, but that's different.
But that also accounts, what you need to do
Yes.
is get us the documentation, because we can only go as fast as you.
Yes.
And especially if you have 2 or 3 jobs, or
Yes.
you've had more than one job in the last 2 years,
Right.
different bank accounts, or you move money around. You know,
Yes.
we've heard it all. So the faster you get us what we need, and when we ask for something, just get it to us. We get
As
it
soon
done.
as you can.
Yep. We can get you done in 30 days or
Yes.
less.
Okay. And then the last one is a different question. Jason said, I want to refinance before the holidays to have cash for Christmas. Is that possible?
It is possible. What you run into,
It's always possible.
yeah, what you run into with refinancing this time of year is taxes have been paid or haven't been paid or don't show, or maybe your insurance is coming due. So sometimes that's where we have to find out. We have to make sure your taxes have been paid, because if they haven't, you're going to have to pay those, plus the taxes coming due
Yes.
to start your escrow account with us. And there are a lot of different caveats. So the answer to your question is yes.
Yes. Do we think it's the
But
best
there might be
time? Yeah.
hurdles. There might be hurdles. So
Different hurdles than just purchasing. That's
Correct.
like the big thing is refinancing and purchasing. There's different hurdles to go over.
correct. And again, not that we can't do it, but there are hurdles. What may come up is call us, and what may happen is maybe a HELOC might be better.
Yes.
Because then that way you don't have to worry about the taxes and the escrows and all of that. You might not have enough equity, so then we have to go back to refinancing and trying to get you the most cash out. So again, they're just hurdles. Not that we can't do it, but we'd love to take a look at it for you.
We'd
So
rather,
give us
we'd
a
rather
call.
run it for you and see how it goes.
So cool. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was.
We had fun last month with spooky stuff.
Spooky season.
This was home for the holidays. And of course, next month we've got Christmas, which is by far mine, Mallory's, and Ashley's favorite time of the year.
holiday.
So hopefully we can put together something that works and gives you a little more information for Christmas and going into the new
Right.
year. So
Yeah.
love to talk to you. Give us a call if you need anything, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.